Hello and welcome to the month of Pisces. The Sun passes through the sign of Pisces from around the 19th of February to the spring equinox on the 20th of March. This is the last sign of the zodiac, so the story of Pisces is that it holds the seed of all the other signs that have gone before since the last cycle, because the zodiac cycle begins after the spring equinox as we leap into Aries. So everything that's gone on since the last spring equinox is up for evaluation and review, atonement and release as we go through the month of Pisces. So Pisces is a mutable, that means changeable, water sign, and it holds all that memory of everything that's gone on. So it can actually be quite retentive, and it's very important for us to actually be able to release first before going forwards. And that's what the two fish symbolise. One fish is looking backwards to what's gone on, and one fish is looking forwards to a brighter future in the spring. So it's a very old and wise sign. It's almost gone beyond water into ether. So the story of Pisces is to look back first and let go. And one of the best ways to let go is to be very honest with ourselves, to have a look at what we're ashamed of, what we're holding anger for, and what we're retaining that's not going to serve us, and to actually face that, to see the meaning, and to only carry the seed forward rather than all of the emotional baggage. So there's a truth and clarity and atonement that's necessary with the fish looking backwards, to be very honest and to sum up everything that's gone on in that past year, and to actually only take forwards the bit that's relevant once we've got the message of it. And then we can go forwards with the Aries energy, which we'll be talking about next month. Pisces is ruled by Neptune, and the sigil for Neptune actually looks a bit like a tuning fork. And as we know in the vibrational universe, the ether that is Pisces, everything is about frequency. So if you think of Pisces as the realms that we come from and go to as we pass through this incarnation, we've come from the ether and we go back to the ether. If we think of it while we are here as the dream state and meditation and trance, when we tune into those frequencies that are beyond the five senses. Because our eyes and ears and our senses only pick up 5% of what's actually going on. The other 95% is the realm of Pisces. So it's a tuning fork, it's to know your vibration, and it's to resonate your vibration. Because if you put two tuning forks together, the one with the strongest tone will entrain the other one, and they will start making the same tone. So with Pisces, if we're not strong in our own tone, we can end up picking up other people's vibrations and letting that overwhelm us. It's a bit of an immersion in the Pisces water. So Pisces, with Neptune as a ruler, teaches us to know our own tone and to resound strongly from that sense of spiritual purpose. Pisces is opposite Virgo, so I always deal with the 6 axes of the zodiac rather than the 12 signs. And if you look at Pisces and Virgo as the left and right hemisphere of the brain, obviously with the pineal gland and the pituitary in the middle, then Pisces is more like the right brain, the intuitive, those other realms we've been speaking of, and Virgo is the left brain, logical, rational, see the detail. So that's the story that's going on. We need to see the bigger picture before we can attend to actually the details of how we go forwards. So it's all about frequency, it's an ocean of emotion, and it's about returning to source. In the Druid system, the symbol for Pisces was the salmon of wisdom, the wisest of all the animals. And the salmon swims upstream to spawn, and that's symbolically going back to source. It's also interesting for me that he eats the hazelnut of wisdom, which has a resonance there with that Virgo opposite, the fruits of the harvest of the hazel tree in Virgo. So we have the salmon, wiseness, swimming back to source to be reborn, and that's the story as we get closer to the spring equinox. As the sun passes through the sign of Pisces, we'll always have a new moon in Pisces, and that's when the sun and the moon are together. So at this point we dive into those soulful, evocative, underwater, far space realms. We go beyond light, sound and gravity, and we actually look at ourselves as multi-lifetime beings divine sparks that are coming through quite a few incarnations, and the intentions that we can be setting at this time are more to do with our soul purpose and the true meaning behind our lives, rather than the short step planning, which might be more the realm of Virgo. So Pisces is a multi-lifetime perspective, and then Virgo comes in and actually makes it happen by saying, yes, but what am I going to do to apply that this lifetime or this day? So if you look at day and night, then Pisces might be the nighttime realms and Virgo might be the application in the daytime realms. Or Pisces is the multi-lifetime and Virgo is the practical application to achieve purpose in this lifetime, and that's why they're both important coming together. During the month of Pisces we will also get the full moon in Virgo, because that's the opposite. So when the full moon comes along in Virgo, it's always good to look back to the new moon in Virgo in September, because it was 6 months ago that there was a new moon. What intentions did you set there? What can you reflect upon? What's come to fruition? What requires closure? And a self-assessment that goes on without being too critical, because Virgos are accused of being critical. But I would apply discernment rather than judgment and criticism, and be gentle with yourself. And under the full moon, which is reflecting the light back of the Pisces sun, but looking back to what was going on at the new moon in Virgo and getting some sense of closure. So altogether, these two signs are summing up the last cycle, the real harvest feel before we step over the spring equinox into a whole new cycle. We can be both the particle and the wave. We can be both the line and the circle, which combined make a spiral. So it's about the potent fusion and the coming together of both sides of the brain, of both realms that we're dealing with, knowledge of the cycles of time and our intuition to know what to do and when, in this beautiful universal flow that is the sign of Pisces. So it's important to let go, and then it's important to set new goals from a very soulful and spiritual part of ourselves, so that we're heading towards applying our daytime energy to something that has meaning and will actually serve our purpose. The herbs that I like for this month are, for Pisces, rosemary, because it actually translates as mist of the sea. It's a very, very high Neptunian, takes you upwards, it takes you into that high priestess or that higher feminine spiritual realm, and that applies to men as well as women. It's the divine feminine that I feel with rosemary. And then for Virgo, I feel clary sage. It gives you that cutting clarity, that wisdom and that clear-sightedness that the Virgos are known for. And crystals, I like selenite for Pisces, because that again goes with that high vibration. It's almost beyond colour. It's almost at the highest end of the vibrational scale. So that again helps lift us up into our spiritual divinity. And then for Virgo, I like blue lace agate, which is, agate is obviously something that we pass through. It's a portal, it's strata, it's structured, it's clear with that blue, and it has that vision of the Virgo resonant within it as well. So those are the herbs and the crystals that I like for this time of year. So that's about it for this month, and I'll see you next month.